Animal protection laws in the United States vary dramatically from state to state. Some states have strict regulations to prevent cruelty, while others have glaring legal gaps. But does the political divide between red and blue states influence how animals are treated? Do conservative-led states have weaker protections, or do liberal-led states fail in other ways? The answer isn't as simple as you might think. Animal rights advocates have long debated which states do the most and the least to protect animals. Every year, organizations like the Animal Legal Defense Fund rank U.S. states on their animal welfare laws. The rankings are based on laws addressing cruelty, neglect, farming conditions, and wildlife protections. Generally, blue states tend to score higher in overall animal welfare. Many have comprehensive anti-cruelty laws and strict penalties for violations. Some even recognize certain animal rights beyond basic welfare. Red states, in contrast, often prioritize agriculture and hunting over strict animal protections. Many have laws that shield factory farms from investigations and lawsuits. Some make it illegal to film or expose abuse at industrial farms. These so-called ag-gag laws criminalize whistleblowers and investigative journalists. They make it harder to uncover abuse in the meat and dairy industries. At the same time, some red states have strong wildlife conservation laws. They fund large-scale efforts to protect endangered species and natural habitats. Blue states, despite their stricter domestic animal protections, have their own weaknesses. Many struggle with pet overpopulation and shelter euthanasia rates. Some have lenient laws on animal testing, allowing painful experiments to continue unchecked. Even in highly progressive states, loopholes exist that leave animals vulnerable. California, for example, has some of the strictest farm animal protections in the country. It banned the sale of eggs, pork, and veal from animals kept in extreme confinement. But the law faced heavy pushback from the agricultural industry. Meat producers in other states challenged it, arguing it interfered with interstate commerce. The Supreme Court ultimately upheld California's law, but the battle exposed deep political tensions. Texas, a red state, has weaker protections for farm animals. It has no statewide ban on extreme confinement or factory farm investigations. However, Texas has some of the toughest penalties for animal cruelty in the country. A person convicted of animal abuse can face felony charges and lengthy prison sentences. In contrast, New York, a blue state, has strong protections for pets but weaker farm animal laws. It has strict regulations against puppy mills and pet store abuses. However, its laws regarding livestock treatment lag behind other progressive states. Florida, a swing state, has a complex mix of protections and gaps. It was one of the first states to ban the confinement of pregnant pigs in tiny crates. But it also has weak enforcement mechanisms, making some laws difficult to apply. The biggest divide between red and blue states often comes down to enforcement. Having strong laws on paper doesn't always mean they are effectively enforced. Some blue states rank high in legislation, but fail to properly fund animal welfare agencies. Red states may have weaker laws, but sometimes enforce the ones they do have more aggressively. The role of hunting laws also creates political tension in animal protection debates. Many red states have strong traditions of hunting and fishing. They tend to resist bans on controversial practices like trapping and trophy hunting. Blue states are more likely to regulate or restrict these activities. But critics argue that some blue states go too far, hurting conservation efforts. Hunting regulations can sometimes help control overpopulated species and fund wildlife programs. A complete ban on hunting certain species can backfire, leading to ecological imbalances. Then there's the issue of exotic animal ownership. Many red states have weaker laws regarding private ownership of dangerous animals. Texas, for instance, has one of the highest numbers of privately owned tigers in the world. Some estimates suggest there are more tigers in captivity in Texas than in the wild globally. Other red states, like Florida and South Carolina, allow private ownership with minimal restrictions. Blue states, in contrast, have stricter bans on keeping big cats, primates, and venomous reptiles. However, illegal exotic pet trade still thrives, even in states with bans. Loopholes in federal regulations allow people to transport exotic animals across state lines. Despite the political divide, public opinion on animal welfare is shifting. Polls show that Americans across the political spectrum support stronger protections for animals. Many conservatives back laws against animal cruelty and neglect. Even in traditionally red states, support for stricter animal welfare laws is growing. Progress is often driven by shocking abuse cases that make national headlines. High-profile investigations have exposed cruelty in puppy mills, slaughterhouses, and research labs. These reports have led to bipartisan efforts to strengthen animal protections. In recent years, Congress has passed federal laws aimed at protecting animals. The PACT Act, signed into law in 2019, made extreme acts of animal cruelty a federal crime. It passed with overwhelming bipartisan support. Similarly, the Big Cat Public Safety Act, which bans private ownership of big cats, was widely supported. It prevents roadside zoos and individuals from keeping lions, tigers, and other large predators. These national efforts show that animal welfare isn't just a partisan issue. It's an ethical issue that transcends political lines. Still, at the state level, deep divisions remain in how animal laws are structured and enforced. In some states, industries with financial interests in animal exploitation hold significant power. Factory farms, hunting groups, and pharmaceutical companies lobby against stricter regulations. In other states, animal rights groups push for sweeping reforms that sometimes face backlash. Finding a balance between ethical treatment and economic interests remains a challenge. Some argue that red states should strengthen protections for farm and exotic animals. Others believe blue states should focus on enforcing their existing laws more effectively. Both sides have successes and failures when it comes to protecting animals. The real question isn't whether red or blue states are better at animal welfare. It's whether the country as a whole is willing to prioritize animal protection over political divides. As more people become aware of these issues, pressure on lawmakers is increasing. The future of animal welfare laws will likely be shaped by public demand. The more people advocate for change, the stronger protections will become. Will all states eventually align on higher standards for animal welfare? Or will political differences continue to dictate the fate of millions of animals? One thing is clear, the battle for stronger animal protections is far from over. And whether you live in a red or blue state, your voice matters in shaping that future.